Notifications is a way to provide timely and important information anytime, whether the device is locked or in use. Users see notifications on the lock screen, at the top of the screen while using the device, and in Notification Center, which is opened by swiping down from the top edge of the screen. Within iOS 10, Apple introduced new User Notifications framework. It supports the delivery and handling of local and remote notifications and provides to developers simple and clear interface for schedule notifications and manage notification-related behaviors in our app or app extension. Today we are talking about local notifications. Local notification is a way to inform users about some new information at times when your app might running, foreground or might not be. Scheduling local notification not depends on internet connectivity. After correct setup and scheduling notification, system takes on the responsibility of delivering the notification to the user at the appropriate time. Local notification has few options for delivering the notification: on-screen alert or banner, sound and vibration, app icon badge. User of your app able to manage app notification settings through a Settings app. Let's look on the settings from top to bottom. Allow user notifications obviously set up as user allow to receive notifications from your app, no matter local or remote. Sounds enables or disables sound that accompanies an alert, banner, or badge. You can use default or custom sound for your app notification from Xcode. I will put a link on the description for more details about sounds. Alert section contains 3 options: show on lock screen, show in history and show as banner. This is basically settings of how and where visual alert will be or not be displayed. Show on lock screen. This option manages presence notification on lock screen. This is how it looks. Same for history. This is how it looks. Next row is a managing banners settings. There are 2 types of banners: temporary and persistent. Temporary banner disappear from screen automatically after few seconds. Persistent requires an action from user before proceeding. If user disable banners, there will be no banner if app unlocked, only badge or sound, based on other user settings, but alert will still be presented on history and home screen if this option enabled. Show previews. This is user-defined settings that manages does sensitive information should be displayed on lock screen. For example, displaying of private message from email. This how it will looks on lock screen is user set show preview to never. Now let's understand how should we set up notification in our program. To set up a local notification you need to implement few steps. Request authorization for sending notification. Create and configure a mutable notification content object with the notification details. Create a trigger object to describe the conditions under which the notification is delivered. It may be time interval, calendar date or specific location. Create a notification request object with the content and trigger information. Call the notification request to Notification Center. Let's take a closer look at each of these steps. Request authorization. First of all, you need to be sure you have the permissions to send notifications to your users. As with remote push notification, you need to have a user's permission for the types of notification your app will use. Usually best to request permission early in app lifecycle in an application. Did finish launching with options, but it is not required. You can ask this permissions later, for example after user login. For request permission we need to declare on authorization options, which is simple a constants for requesting authorization to interact with the user. It can be badge, sound, alert, cart play. Please pay attention on this option. For example, if you will not ask permission to set badge number, like in example code, even if you set badge number in your notification and notification will be delivered, app badge number will not changed. This is valid for iOS 10 and higher. In next step we accessing to on user notification center. Its purposes is managing notification-related activities and app or app extension responsible. User Notification Center supports both local and remote notifications in varying capacities. So in next step we need to request a permission with User Notification Center. Even if user once gave permissions to your app, he can change the notification settings for your app at any time. You can check the allowed settings with Get Notification Settings. This calls a completion block asynchronously with a notification settings object you can use to check the authorization status or the individual notification settings. To make everything working properly, we need to import User Notifications Framework. To set up notification, we need to declare notification content object. It contains data associated with the notification, for example, title and body. But indeed, notification content object contains much more properties, such as title, subtitle, body, badge, sound, launch image name, user info, attachments. Properties title, subtitle, body, badge, sound is quite obviously. User info is a dictionary of custom information associated with the notification. Attachments is an array of attachments to display with the notification. Launch image name is name of the launch image to display when your app is launched in response to the notification. When creating the content for a notification, fill in the properties of the mutable notification content object that reflect the type of interaction you want with the user. For example, fill in the title and body properties when you want to display an alert. The system uses the information you provide to determine how to interact with the user. You can also use the data in this object when handling a local notification that has been delivered to your app. This is code for creating notification content object with title and body. After creating the notification content, create a trigger object that defines when to deliver the notification. The User Notifications Framework provides both time-based, time interval and calendar, and location-based triggers. Configure the trigger with the required conditions and use that object plus your content to create the notification request object. Let's first create notification with time interval. You do not need create an instances of notification trigger directly. Instead, you instantiate the concrete subclass that defines the trigger condition you want for your notification. Create a trigger that repeats at a certain interval. Use the correct set of date components. For example, to have the notification repeat daily at the same time, we need just the hour, minutes and seconds. A location notification trigger object causes the delivery of a notification when the device enters or leaves a specified geographic region. Because entering and monitoring specific region requesters access to user location application need to have a such permission. For this we need to add description key in our list file and request specific access to user location. Apps must request access to location services and must have at least one in-use permissions to use this class. A notification request object contains a notification content object with the contents of the notification and the notification trigger object that specifies the delivery conditions. You can ask Notification Center for pending and delivered requests. Finally, we can add our request to Notification Center. Let's start with requesting access for sent user notification with types: alert, sound, badge, run application. On the alert we can see request for our types. Choose allow. Let's first create time interval notification which will fire after 15 seconds. First step, create notification content, set title and body. In the next step, we define a trigger with time interval 15 seconds. Further, create request and add it to Notification Center. Let's test it. For move convenient testing, let's create button and assign a new action for it. As we can see, even when we send notification again and again, notification banner don't shows when app is in foreground. If we want to show notification banner inside application, we need to set up user notification center delegate and assign it. Now we can test again and we can see notification the app in foreground. Now we can create date-based notification. As in previous step, we declare notification content object, set up title and body. Next, create trigger that will start in 2007. Create request with corresponding identifier. Now we can check it. To debug our application for trigger inside some particular location, even when we are not there, we need to create file with specific coordinates and then simulate location from this file. Location with name that you give your location file will be displayed in list of available locations in Xcode. Then we need request access to user location. Use standard steps. It is better to set notification after you receive user permissions and check this permissions every time you create new notification. Set view controller as location manager delegate and create notification after receiving user permission. Please remember that this is just an example. In your application creation, notification may be set on some particular action. We set up additional steps and now we can create notification that trigger on entrance to specific location. Let create region with coordinates that was defined in our file with coordinates. Sometimes it is required to remove application from simulator and restart it for proper work. As you can see, application receives notification when enter to out trigger location.
Thanks for watching.